Here's a number nobody put in the textbook.
Not 1,000,000, not 100,000, not even 50. $20,000. And before we go any further, I want to be clear about what this video is not. This is not a work harder video. This is not a cut your lattes video. And this is definitely not a just believe in yourself video. This is a video about why one specific number changes the actual operating system your brain runs on, and why the financial system is quietly, structurally designed to make sure most people never reach it. I'm a capybara, chill by nature, deeply unimpressed by banks. I read Federal Reserve reports at midnight, so you don't have to. Let's get into it. Most people watching this right now are making every single financial decision with a brain running on emergency mode. Not metaphorically, neurologically. And here's what that actually looks like in real life. Not the textbook version, the real one. You see a job posting, better pay, better culture, actually interesting work. And your first thought isn't, I should apply. Your first thought is, but what if I quit and it doesn't work out? So you don't apply. You stay. Your landlord raises rent by $200. Your first instinct isn't to find a better place. It's to figure out what you can cut to absorb the hit. So you cut, you absorb, you stay. Your manager gives you a project way outside your job description. No extra pay, no acknowledgement. You want to say something. You don't. You do the project. Because friction, any friction, feels like a risk you cannot afford. Every one of those decisions seems completely reasonable in isolation. Together they add up to a life that gets slightly smaller every year. That's what survival mode actually looks like. Not dramatic, not obvious. Just a slow, quiet narrowing of your world, one reasonable decision at a time. And the system is engineered perfectly for exactly this. A person in survival mode doesn't negotiate, doesn't ask questions, doesn't look at alternatives. They show up, accept whatever's on the paycheck, and say thank you. You're not an employee at that point. You're a hostage. A polite, well-dressed hostage who smiles when they make the deposit every 2 weeks. Nobody in that building is going to tell you this. Your boss knows it. HR knows it. The whole machine runs on the quiet assumption that most people have nowhere else to go and will therefore accept whatever they're given. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's arithmetic. But there's a number that breaks this equation completely, and the math is almost embarrassingly simple once someone actually shows it to you. Vanguard, one of the largest investment firms on the planet, did a study on financial well-being. What they found should have made front-page news. It didn't. Funny how that works. Having just $2,000 in emergency savings increases your financial well-being by 21%. $2,000. Less than most people spend on a phone they'll replace in 2 years. Less than the average American spends on coffee annually. But that boring little buffer is enough to pull your brain slightly out of panic mode. Enough to think 1 week ahead instead of 1 hour ahead. Now push that number to 3 to 6 months of living expenses. For most people, that's around $20,000. Vanguard found this adds another 13% to your well-being score. But here's what the study doesn't say out loud, because corporate research papers bury the most interesting conclusions in the footnotes. That 13% isn't just about feeling less anxious on Sunday nights. It's about switching operating systems entirely. Before 20,000, your brain is running on Windows Vista. Technically functioning, doing what it can. But it's slow, reactive, it crashes under pressure, and it absolutely cannot handle anything complex. After 20,000? Clean install, different machine entirely. The same events that used to feel like emergencies start feeling like inconveniences. The decisions that used to trigger panic start triggering analysis. And for the first time, you start making actual moves. And speaking of moves, the math of what happens next is the kind of thing that sounds impossible until you actually see the numbers. So let's look at the numbers. Say you're saving $1,000 a month. Disciplined, consistent, boring. Earning 8% annual returns, roughly the S&P 500's historical average. No crypto, no individual stock picking, just boring index funds doing their boring, effective thing. Getting to your first 20,000 takes 19 months, a year and a half, of saying no, of watching friends spend money you want to spend, of opening the savings app, seeing the number, and reminding yourself to keep going. This is the boulder phase. You're pushing something heavy uphill, and you cannot see the top. Everything feels slow. Everything feels pointless. Most people quit here. They look at the balance, look at the timeline, and decide this isn't working. It is working. They just can't see what's about to happen. Your second 20,000? 17 months. Same effort. 2 months faster. Because your first 20,000 is working alongside you now, generating returns without you doing anything extra. Third 20,000? Faster. Fourth? Faster still. And then, once your portfolio hits $400,000, the next 20,000 appears in 5 months, automatically, while you sleep. The milestone that once took a year and a half of sacrifice now happens twice a year on autopilot. This is compound interest, not the polished diagram from a textbook, the real version, the quiet, relentless, slightly surreal version where money starts doing the heavy lifting, and you start becoming optional. And here's the thing about why the beginning is so brutal that nobody ever properly explains. The early months aren't hard because you're doing it wrong. They're hard because compound interest is a patience test. The math is essentially asking, do you trust the process enough to stay in the game before it rewards you? The people who quit at month 6 were standing at the very bottom of the hockey stick, looking at a flat line, not knowing the curve goes vertical, and it was going to happen 3 months from where they stopped. Now here's the part that should make you genuinely angry. The information I just gave you, not hidden, not secret. In every basic personal finance textbook, sitting in school libraries for decades. And yet somehow, most people spend their entire education, enter the workforce, spend their best earning years, and nobody ever sits them down and explains, this is the actual math. This is how the curve works. This is why the first 20,000 is the hardest 20,000 you will ever save. Your school taught you to be a good employee. Nobody taught you this. And there's one more layer to this that finance content almost never touches, because it doesn't fit in a thumbnail. But it might actually be the most important part of this whole video. The money is not the most important thing you gain when you hit 20,000. Think about what it actually takes to get there from zero. You tracked every dollar. You said no, repeatedly, uncomfortably, to things you genuinely wanted. You chose future you over present you every single month, while people around you were one click ordering their way to zero savings. Month after month, for a year and a half. And without noticing it happen, you changed. You stopped being someone money controls. You became someone who controls money. Here's the concrete version of what that actually means. Before 20,000. Your manager schedules a Sunday meeting. You hate it. You say nothing. You show up and smile. After 20,000. Your manager schedules a Sunday meeting. You send a calm professional message asking if this can move to Monday. And if the answer is no, this is just our culture here. You update your resume that evening. Not in panic, in strategy. Same person, same job, same terrible manager, completely different response. Because one version of you has options, and one doesn't. The version with options isn't louder or more aggressive, just less afraid. And that, not the savings rate, not the spreadsheet, is what actually changes your financial trajectory. You stop agonizing over whether to buy name brand cereal, $50 a year, genuinely irrelevant. You start actually thinking about the housing decision, the career move, the investment allocation, the things worth tens of thousands of dollars over a decade that routinely get made badly because people are too stressed and too tired to think about them carefully. 20,000 buys you the mental space to stop playing financial whack-a-mole and start playing chess. And once you can finally think clearly, you start to see something you couldn't see before. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have a job. You have a leash. Your boss is unreasonable? You adapt. Workplace is toxic? You cope. The work is quietly taking years off your life? Very unfortunate. But rent is due on the 1st. You cannot negotiate without leverage. You cannot leave without runway. You cannot say no when you cannot afford the consequences. 20,000 changes this, completely. Not because it makes you rich, because it's what I call walking away money. Not retire to a beach money, not never work again money. Just, I can walk away from this specific situation tomorrow and survive for months while I find something better. Money. And here's what surprised me most about this concept. You almost never have to actually use it. Just knowing it's there changes how you walk into a room, how you talk to your manager, how you respond when something feels wrong. Because the worst case, friction, awkward conversations, leaving, is survivable now. Either way, you'll be fine. People sense this shift. They can't name it, but something about you is different. You don't carry that invisible edge of desperation that makes people uncomfortable. You don't flinch. And what happens when you consistently show up that way? Better opportunities, more recognition, more money, more savings, more confidence, more money. Positive feedback loop, the kind that accelerates. Meanwhile, the person without the cushion is still inside the other loop. No money, no options. No options, no leverage. No leverage, except whatever's offered. Repeat for 40 years. Retire with nothing. Wonder what happened. The loop isn't invisible. It's just so common that people mistake it for normal life. Now, honest moment, I'm a capybara. Sugarcoating is not in the nature. Most people who actually reach 20,000 immediately destroy it. They feel that real, earned sense of, I did it, and they celebrate. New car, big trip, down payment on a house they can't actually afford if anything goes sideways. Back to zero, back in survival mode, back on the leash they spent 19 months removing. That $20,000 is not a reward. It's a foundation. It's the seed that compounds into actual financial freedom, if you have the discipline to leave it alone. Spending it the moment you feel it is like burning the blueprints to your dream house to stay warm for one night. You get warm, you're still homeless in the morning. And since we're talking about burning money on things that feel necessary, the average person spends $600 to $800 a month on their vehicle. Payment, insurance, maintenance, gas, every month, without fail. Over 40 years, $400,000 spent on an asset that loses value the moment it moves, demands money from you constantly, and never once gives any back. $400,000 on transportation, while that same person genuinely believes they can't afford to invest. Take that $400,000, run it through 8% annual returns over 40 years. Over $2 million. The person in the brand new car, statistically stressed about money. The person in the 8-year-old paid-off Honda, building wealth quietly and sleeping without nightmares. Not a theory, arithmetic. Honda just doesn't have the advertising budget to explain it. BMW does. At the beginning of this video, I said the financial system is designed to make sure most people never reach $20,000. Here's what I meant by that. The system doesn't need to be deliberately cruel to work against you. It just needs you to stay slightly too stressed to think clearly, slightly too broke to have options, slightly too behind to ever actually catch up.
Keep people in survival mode, and they'll spend everything they earn, carry debt that feels normal because everyone around them does the same, and never build enough of a cushion to negotiate, walk away, or make the macro decisions that actually matter. That's not a conspiracy. That's just a very convenient outcome for everyone except you. $20,000 is where that design stops working on you. That's where you step off the treadmill, where the math finally runs in your favor, where the leash, the one you've been wearing so long you forgot it was there, falls off. And the moment it does, you'll feel exactly how heavy it was. So, where are you right now? 0? 2,000? Halfway there? Already past 20 and building the next milestone? Drop it in the comments. No judgment, no competition, just a number. Because wherever you're starting, now you know exactly what you're building toward. And you know why nobody ever sat you down and explained it. I'm Money Capy. Stay chill, stay sharp, and stop buying new cars. See you in the next one.